Hello, everyone. It's Summer Games Done Quick 2023. My name is Adef, and I am joined by the wonderful Mitchriz, who will be playing Elden Ring glitchless any percent in just a few runs. Mitch, how are you feeling?
A little nervous, but very excited. It's a fun run, so I'm excited to show it off.
Fantastic. Well, you want to jump into some questions?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Okay, so first of all, glitchless any percent. Now, these are terms obviously speedrun viewers will be familiar with, but what are the ramifications of this specifically for Elden Ring? What's the difference between any percent and glitchless?
Yeah, so any percent means you just have to get to the credits. You just got to get to the end. So the fastest way to do that is with something like a wrong warp, where you can basically skip the entire game. Glitchless, we have to go through all of the required bosses to get through. We have to go through all of the required pathing and walking there. A lot of walking in the very large world. You know, there's a couple of skips we can do, but for the most part, it's playing it very similarly to how you would experience it normally, just skipping a lot of the optional stuff. So we're not going to do side quests or anything like that. We're going to get straight to the end. And it's a fairly fast run, but it does cover a lot of what you would actually see playing the game.
It's just a lot of like refining boss fights down to as fast as possible, right?
Absolutely, and picking a really good weapon that we can upgrade super early and make it really powerful. A weapon that I used a lot in my casual playthrough as well. Something that you could try out at home and see just how busted the weapon really is.
Do you want to spoil it now, or do you want to wait?
I mean, I think a lot of people already know, but yeah, it's the Bloodhound's Fang. It has bleed damage on it, which is super powerful in Elden Ring. They really scaled it up from the other Souls games. So the bleed damage on that is super powerful. It's a somber weapon. In other Dark Souls games, that would be like a Twinkling Titanite, which tends to be easier to find in Elden Ring. And so it's just got a bunch of combination of really good stats that make it super good for us.
So, Mitch, I want to ask you some social questions really quick, because we put out on Twitter, did anybody have any questions? And some really great questions have been asked. So thank you, everybody that participates in those. It's something we always want to do, is include all of you in the question asking process. So here we go. We've got a question from Ted Fallinger, and they ask, what are your top 3 quick tips for new players? So this might be, let's talk specifically for speedrunning. So if you're going to get into speedrunning Elden Ring, what are some tips?
Biggest tip, which is pretty much for any game, is practice, practice, practice. I think a lot of people want to jump straight into the run, or maybe they'll practice first, but then as soon as they start running, it's like, okay, I'm now just running. That's what I'm doing. I'm running, and it's a really good idea to take that time to practice every little thing that could go wrong. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in a run like Elden Ring, and doing that. Second big tip is specifically practicing quit-outs. They are a huge safety net for you. Anytime anything goes wrong, you can just quit out. And you can do that in the middle of combat. You can do that if an enemy is about to hit you. You can do so many things with it. So the muscle memory to do that really quickly is huge in Elden Ring. All of the Souls games, but especially Elden Ring, we use it quite a lot. And then the third one, now I've forgotten. You've got me all...
You got 2 good ones. We can go to the next question if you want. You got 2 good ones. Okay, here's the next question. From Gendarm, we have the question, what is the skip, boss, or strat that you're most nervous about hitting, pardon me, and what are you most excited to show off?
They are one and the same, although I'll give a bonus second skip afterwards so that, you get 2 of them in there. But the one that I am the most excited for and the most nervous for is a skip we call DRML. It's kind of a nickname for it. It stands for Dist Ruined My Life, because the runner Distortion 2 found this skip, and it is so brutal, so hard, that it ruined all of our lives, honestly. All of us running Elden Ring, suddenly our lives were much worse the day this skip was found. It doesn't save that much time, but I do want to show it off. I've got backups ready for if it doesn't go well and all that. But very exciting one. Love the history behind it. And then there's a second one just before it we call Lane Dell Skip, where basically we scale down this big wall, because there's just these tiny little alcoves you can stand on the way down, and it skips having to go like all the way around the city. You can just go straight down a vertical wall, and you're right where you want to be.
Excellent. Well, I got one final question for you here. We have a donation incentive open right now, and gamers, you got to donate towards this. We're about 20,000 and change out of 100,000 towards the blindfolded Malekith fight. Are you feeling ready for that if it gets met?
You know, I'm feeling ready. I've put in a lot of practice for it. I'm really excited to show it off if it gets met. It is very tough, though. I don't think I'll get it first try, but I would love to show that off, and it is such a cool fight. And especially, I plan to do it in the speedrun way, not like a, oh yeah, go get the overpowered stuff at the end and come back and then do it and show it off where you can one-shot him. No. I'm gonna have to fully fight him in the intended-ish speedrun way of really fighting him through. And so I think that's gonna be super cool to show off.
Fantastic. Sent, same question.
Yeah, you know, I've been practicing a lot when it comes to sliding into frame properly and to fighting bosses in Elden Ring blindfolded. So far, I've been able to die to everything I've run across immediately.
Good.
I'm getting there, Mitch, though. One day.
Okay, one day.
Now, real quick, Mitch, I do have to ask you about Dist real quick.
Yes.
Would you say that is the Dark Souls of Elden Ring skips?
Yes, that is the Dark Souls of Elden Ring.
Good.
Exactly what I wanted to hear, and what I want to tell all of you about is some of the prizes that you can win by donating to make that incentive happen. Because of course, we gotta see a blindfolded Malekith fight. It's gonna be incredible. Real quick, we have so many beautiful Pokemon prizes to talk about here. From our good friend Lemon Carrots, we have the Sami Needle Felt plushie here. This is not a Pokemon. If you told me it was a Pokemon, I would probably believe you. Again, I'm still confused that one of them is just a car, but it's an absolutely adorable little furry companion from Fire Emblem Engage. Could be yours. Entirely done, you know, handmade needle felted. Super cool. $15 minimum donation before the end of the Super Mario 64 run coming up in just a little bit. From our good friend Pincushion Cat plushies, we have a pair of absolutely adorable plushies. We've got a Sprigatito and a Claude Sire. You got to respect the Claude right here. This is actually really weighty, you know, when we're done getting a good, nice close-up on this, because, I mean, it's got some beautiful detail. You definitely got to look at both of them. Mitch, I want you to hold this and just express the weight of the Claude. There you go.
This man's a professional.
It's a hefty boy right there. $25 minimum donation is going to get you entered into both of them, and you absolutely should get in $25 to be entered into all of the prizes that we have going until the end of Super Mario 64. And if you haven't gotten a $50 minimum donation today, you definitely should, because we've got a beautiful one-of-a-kind hand-stitched Kirby blanket. We've got some incredible canvas prints, and of course, you know, we might have
look at that
here
thing.
from our good friends over at the Chain Nerd. Now, Mitch, it's kind of like what would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do to break the golden order? Would you donate $50 for this chainmail piece?
I would absolutely donate $50 for that chainmail piece and break the golden order in record time.
You should do both of those at home as we get ready for all of the runs that we've got coming up today. And if you're ever curious about any of these amazing prizes that you can win by donating, or any of the speed runs coming up in the marathon, or any of the incentives that you can put your donations towards, you can head over to GamesDoneQuick.com. Check out the tracker. It's got all the information you need, but don't go anywhere right now, because coming up next, we've got Pokemon Scarlet, except we don't, because you people out there and the people at home have spoken. We're going to be seeing Pokemon Violet. You got to get hyped for it. Etiquette and Alti Joe, take it away. Let's make it happen. Get hyped. Woo!
Thank you very much to 8F Mitchriz and, of course, the great Sent. We've got some more donations pouring in, so thank you very much for your continued generosity. We've got $5 from Squigs that says, I like Pokemon and all the Pokemon runs, but I love Scarlet and Violet. My favorite Scarlet and Violet Pokemon are Miraidon and Sprigatito. Now, everybody, we're really looking forward to seeing your Pokedex number donations, and I can't wait to read them all. And I've got a challenge for those who are looking to do something slightly different from the Pokedex donations. I'd like you to get creative, and with a $10 donation, give me your favorite starting 3 Pokemon of each type. You can mix and match all of the starters from all 9 generations, or you know what? You could even troll me if you want and give some randomizer tier starters. Either way, give me your best shot, be creative. I'm looking forward to reading them. And in case you're wondering, some of my favorites would be Charmander, Froakie, and Rowlet. Those are my favorites. We've got a $179 donation from Not Your Average Tenor saying, hey, chefs, here's to making that Pokedex entry train started. I'll start us off. A chef needs to power his arsenal, so our favorite electric sheep, Mareep, can help us out. Let's cook. We've got a $25 donation from the History Chick that says, first time in person and absolutely loving all of these amazing runs. Let's hit that blindfolded Breath of the Wild incentive. Thanks for such a wonderful experience, chefs. Now, although it's not really an incentive, it's more of a milestone. Just keep that in mind. But some amazing incentives that we need to remind ourselves of. I know we just talked about it, but that Elden Ring blindfolded Malekith run, that sits at $24,508 of the $100,000 needed to unlock it. I know we can do it. Please get those donations in and make sure that you select that incentive and add it before you submit that dono. We've also got a Super Mario Maker 2 Versus Showcase. That currently sits at $28,395.29 of the $250,000 needed to unlock it. But I know, we like to speed run. We like to make things happen. Let's get those donos in so we can unlock even more GDQ. And then we'll also take a minute to remind everyone that not only did you unlock Pokemon Violet as the game that Etiquette's gonna play, but you can also name some really important Pokemon that Etiquette's gonna have on his team. Some of those being Fuecoco, Hariyama, Flamigo, Lechonk. Go ahead, hit those bid wars and punch in who or what name you would like to see for those Pokemon. I'll give you some updates. For Lechonk's name, we've got Reye at $2,130.02, and that's got a sizable lead over at Le Chef. So please, if you're looking to get Le Chef or Le Orb or any others, you're gonna have a short period of time to get that up and be in contention. Hariyama's name currently sits at Orthworm, $968, with Harry Mama in second place at $537. When it comes to Fuecoco's name, we've got Margaret at $909 and Bulbasaur at $515. And finally, we've got Flamigo's nickname. We've got Edamimo at $398 and Jimmy Buffett at $362.50. So if you're looking to snipe, I would say Flamigo's is the one to go to. We've got a $100 donation from Koi Wolf that says, thank you to everyone involved in putting on such great events. I'd like to take a second to remind everybody of why we are here. Doctors Without Borders, or Médecins Sans Frontières, is an independent international organization that offers medical humanitarian assistance to people based solely on need, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. Over the past 5 decades, MSF has grown from a group of a few hundred volunteers to an international movement, providing over 10 million medical consultations in over 70 countries every year. MSF's core values of humanitarianism, independence, neutrality, and impartiality continue to drive their work in providing life-saving aid to people whose survival is threatened by violence, neglect, or catastrophe, primarily due to armed conflict, epidemics, malnutrition, or exclusion from healthcare or natural disasters. We've got a $50 donation from Party Cat that says, adding a donation towards the Mario Maker 2 Versus incentive. Let's go. And we've got a $250 donation from Tertiary Lanes that says, my wife and I have been watching GDQ events since before our kids were born. Now they're old enough to want to donate some of their own money. So here's Cohen's $5, Petra's $5, 23 for our 2D10 rolls, and the rest might cover my Zelda tax for how much I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom this week. We love what all of you do. All right, everybody, let's get some Poke Hype going because we are ready for our next run.